Are you paying too much for your health insurance? The main goal of medical insurance is to protect you and your family from a catastrophic financial loss. Unfortunately, many policies like HMO or Medishares don't do this and can leave you with an unlimited liability. At Mid-Atlantic Business Alliance, we truly represent our clients, not the carriers, and have done so for 35 years. David Becker and his son Jesse will help you navigate the corrupt hospital insurance system so that you can help keep your premium as low as possible while providing full protection for you and your family. Why not call today for a free quote? Call David Becker at 609-577-8557 or visit midatlanticba.com/news treason. That's David Becker at 609-577-8557 or visit midatlanticba.com/news treason.
Only been 44 days, but the president will have a lot to talk about tonight when he heads up to Capitol Hill to address a joint...
6 weeks ago, I stood beneath the dome of this Capitol and proclaimed the dawn of the golden age of America.
Inaugurate a new president and vice president.
From that moment on, it has been nothing but swift and unrelenting action to usher in the greatest and most successful era in the history of our country. I return to this chamber tonight to report that America's momentum is back. Our spirit is back. Our pride is back. Members of Congress, and to my fellow citizens, America is back. Americans have given us a mandate for bold and profound change. Every day my administration is fighting to bring a future that America deserves. We are draining the swamp, and the days of rule by unelected bureaucrats are over. Over the past 6 weeks, I have signed nearly 100 executive orders and taken more than 400 executive actions to restore common sense, safety, optimism, and wealth all across our wonderful land. Despite the best efforts of those who would try to censor us, silence us, break us, destroy us, Americans are today a proud, free, sovereign, and independent nation that will always be free. My fellow Americans, get ready for an incredible future because the golden age of America has only just begun. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America.
Well, there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say that I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today.
Says treason is punishable by death. You've accused your adversaries of treason. Who specifically are you accusing of treason?
Well, I think a number of people, and I think what you look is that they have unsuccessfully tried to take down the wrong person. These are corrupt politicians, fake news, the Comeys of the world, all of the bad things that went on. It's called the swamp,
And you know what happened? And you know what I did? A big favor. I caught the swamp. I caught them all.
That's treason. That's treason.
He is a criminal. He's a criminal. He got caught. Read his laptop. And you know who's a criminal? You're a criminal for not reporting it. You are a criminal for not reporting it. Joe Biden is a criminal, and he's been a criminal for a long time. And you're a criminal in the media for not reporting it.
That's treason. That's treason.
If you look at crooked Hillary Clinton, if you look at all of the different people, there was no transition because they came after me trying to do a coup. They came after me spying on my campaign. They started from the day I won and even before I won, from the day I came down the escalator with our First Lady.
That's treason. That's treason.
And we've caught them. We've caught them all. And we've caught them. We've caught them all. We've got it all on tape. We've caught them all. And
But should she lose, we'll have an insurance policy and we'll get this guy out of office. And that's what they said and that's what they meant. That's treason. That's treason.
they say, holy shit, they caught us. They caught us.
What storm, Mr. President?
You'll find out.
And they know the judgment day shall come.
Welcome, everybody. Friday, March 14th, 2025. Welcome back to News, Treason, and Open Lines. This is your time for your voice every Friday night. And with us, of course, right to left, we have the one and only Mark Messina, a.k.a. 8-Track. Mark, how you doing?
What's going on? Good to see you guys. Still barely recovered from everyone being in Vegas. I don't know about you guys. I'm blaming the lunar eclipse last night, but I'm just like out of it today. My sleep schedule was off. My jaw's locking up. Like, I don't know, man, but I'm super excited to be here with you guys right now.
Yeah, it was a good time. And of course, in the center square, we have Scott Zimmerman, aka Beer at the Parade, and his lovely wife, Patty. How are you guys doing tonight?
I second what Mark just said. I'll tell you what, guys, I've not even turned news or anything on. And I think part of the reason is because I'm still floating high from all the love and the joy that we shared. And I don't want news to bring me down. So I'm just kind of floating still, but tired. So I'm with Mark on that.
Yeah, it was incredible. I spoke about this a lot on Wednesday and last night, but for anybody that didn't see those shows, what an incredible 5-6 days it was, being together with 150 so like-minded patriots. And I just want to say a special thank you to everybody from our three communities here, the three that you see on the screen. So many of you that made the trip to see us and came up and said hi and thank you and brought gifts and hugs, and the love was just absolutely incredible. And I'll reiterate what I've said the last couple of shows. Get to one of these events, whether it's a GART or even if it's just a local, Patriot meetup. Our incredible admins and mods do a great job here. We have a link, channel17meetup.com, where they'll help you get in touch with local people if you want to put something together. But honestly, even if you just get together with 2 or 3 people, it makes all the difference in the world. I mean, I think probably the number one thing I heard from everybody is just that it's amazing to be in a room or in a place where you're with people where you can just be yourself and speak freely and not worry about being judged and getting into arguments and anything like that. So whatever the event is, however small or how large it is, even if it's a little bit outside your comfort zone, I encourage everybody, get out to some kind of event. It really rejuvenates you and it gives you a whole new lease on everything that's going on. So by all means, get to an event. And I got to spend 6 amazing days with these 3 people you see on the screen here, who are 3 of the finest human beings I know, and many others like them. So amazing event. So on that note, anybody that's new here, this is your show. This is the show for the audience, right? So all those questions and comments that you guys have in the chat when we all do shows the rest of the week that we don't have time to get to them, this is the time to bring them. Once again, the link is openlines.live, openlines.live. It's also being pasted in the chat. And very simple, you just click on that link. Make sure you enable your microphone. You don't have to turn your camera on, and that will bring you right here into the studio. And the floor is yours. And it's not this is not a Q&A. It's if you want to ask questions, you can ask questions. But we are all here on this platform, like all the others, trying to figure everything out together. So more so than anything, we welcome your theories. We welcome if you guys want to challenge what we're saying. That's what this is about. One little pro tip: if you are calling in on an iPhone, there's something about the software we use that doesn't like the Chrome and the Brave browser. So if you're on an iPhone, go to the Safari browser, which is the default browser on your phone, and enter openlines.live, and that will get you right into the show. So I see a whole bunch of you, about 8 or 9 of you on the line already. We're going to get right into it. I'm going to blast through 7 slides very quickly just to kind of frame it. Relatively light news week compared to the last few, which is good. I think it gave us a little bit of a break, but doesn't mean nothing's going on. So I just want to run through these very quickly before we hop into the calls, just to give you guys some context and maybe some things we want to think about as we jump into these calls. Here we go with Boeing again. I'm glad this one missed me by 2 days. I was flying into LaGuardia on Tuesday morning on a 737 Max, and here we had one yesterday catching fire. So those of you guys have been watching those, we've been tracking this stuff for like a year now. The inordinate amount of events involving planes, and particularly Boeing.
Talk about between a rock and a hard place. You're either going to die of smoke inhalation inside the plane, or you're going to stand on top of the engine that's on fire.
Well, somebody make this make sense to me. Okay. We're told that the engine was on fire. Why would they send everybody out onto the wing on top of the giant fuel tank where the engine is on fire? Does that make sense to anybody, or does that look more like something that was created to look frightening to us?
This looks absurd. It looks absurd. Right? The wing is literally the fuel tank. The wing is literally where the jet fuel resides. It looks absurd. They're just standing there, look like they're posing for an album cover or something.
It looks staged to me.
And PacFan04 in the chat said that engine is not on fire. I would have to agree. It doesn't look like an engine fire to me.
Hey, Mark,
maybe it is.
Mark,
that's the story. But
hey, Mark, Rambo snuck in, and Dave didn't tell us, so be on your best behavior.
Joe Rambo, what's going on, buddy?
What's up, brother? I'm in the car. I was watching The Voice by Lacrosse, and I saw that you sent me the link, so I wanted to stop in for the little bit of time that I have. But I am on my phone. I hope it's okay.
No, it's all good, man. What do you? I don't know if you can see this. What do you think about these people standing on top of a giant fuel tank when the engine is on fire?
I might be a little woo, bro, but I think that connects directly with Donald Trump saying he broke into California during the fires.
Yep.
It's absurd. If they keep fueling the wings, that is the most insane thing I've ever seen in my life. The fire wasn't even in the plane; it was under it.
Yeah, and the protocol would be to get everybody out to the slides. You know, the doors open on the front and the back. There's 4 of them on that plane, and the slides inflate so you can get everybody out quickly. You don't trap them on the wing. So I don't know what's going on there. But I kind of think it connects to this. I find this whole thing funny. Ignore the right side. The left side, we keep getting this this news about this space mission that they're going to rescue. Remember, this entire space thing happened because of a Boeing failure. They keep putting that into the narrative. It was a Boeing spacecraft that caused this whole 6-month delay on getting these people out. And our good friend Kimberly Auer does a great job on X. I think they gave you a giant breadcrumb right there on Fox. Look at the 2 numbers on the people on the screen, 17 and 27. Well, 17 is obvious, and then 1 + 7 + 2 + 7, there's 17. So what does it all mean? Is it a giant Boeing exposure? I don't know, but there's a whole lot of crap that isn't making sense here. I don't know where it's headed. I have an idea. I think they're just slowly chipping away at the public's confidence in air travel and air traffic control and Boeing specifically. But I'm sorry, like this picture right here just screams like optics. How do we make something look bad? The last time I saw something like that, by the way, was Sully. Was 10 years ago when the plane landed on the Hudson. That's when you stand on a wing, not when the fuel tank's on fire.
I don't have my reading glasses. Are they all covering their mouth and nose?
Doesn't no, they're absolutely not.
Well, if I were in that sort of nasty smoke, I'd probably be covering my mouth and nose.
They look awfully relaxed. It's a staged thing. They're posing, man. That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah, super suspect.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Have any of you guys ever?
Go ahead, Rambo.
I was going to ask, have any of you ever been in a plane that had to get stopped on the runway where you had to get off of it?
I have been on one that was stopped, never that we had to evacuate though.
And I never had to get off of one.
But I do know this because I have a lot of friends that were flight attendants and everything. They're mandated. It's something like 90 seconds, I believe. They're supposed to get everybody out of the plane and away from the plane, especially in a fire. The key in a fire is to get everyone away from the plane. So to stick people on a wing where they can't get away, it goes against every safety protocol that at least I know of. And I'm not an expert, but it's kind of common sense.
That's actually what I was going to say. So on my federal vacation, we landed in Oklahoma City, and the cockpit had a fire, and all of the U.S. Marshals left except for the two very young ones, and then they all ushered us off of the back of the plane, and they ushered us all the way across the tarmac to the curb, well away from the airplane, handcuffs and all.
Yep. So, we'll keep our eyes on this, but this Boeing thing is not going away. It just continues to get more and more weird. And like I said, almost every time they do it, they give us some kind of breadcrumb that something's not normal. But that screams optics and a staged, at least a staged picture to make it look. It looks scarier when you see people stranded on a wing. It looks scarier. There he is. What's going on, Rambo?
He's upside down.
I'm in the car. I'm at lacrosse.
He's doing somersaults.
Yeah, for a second I thought it was burn notice when he was upside down.
So what else do we have going on? I saw this the other day. This one cracked me up. Rubio announces that 83% of U.S. aid contracts will be canceled. Well, what's 100% minus 83%?
Yeah, so they're keeping 17%.
Yeah, they're keeping 17%. So that's
nice catch, Rain Man.
This one came out today, this one is important. Alleged customers at a high-end brothel serving politicians, military officials, finally unmasked in court as salacious details of encounters revealed. And the reason I put this up is the text messages I'm about to tell you is the reason I think they put this out. I had two of my semi-normie friends text me and go, "What the F? We can get this information, but we can't get the Epstein files."
Ooh.
That's exactly why they did this,
Perfect.
in my humble opinion. So, any comments on that? Thoughts?
I'm starting to think the Epstein files are fake and gay.
Oh man, did you see that relief? Mark just spit whiskey out of his mouth. He's so relieved.
Dude, that was funny. That was funny. This just makes me think of what was the movie The Last Starfighter? Remember the Death Blossom, weapon of last resort, which spinning in every freaking direction. That's what's happening now with all of these comms. Like, eventually, when Epstein comes out, it's like all the targets are softened. There's nothing they can do anymore. Everyone's begging for it. Everyone's pleading for it. Everyone's looking at it. Everyone cares all of a sudden.
Yep. Exactly.
What if Epstein's just a complete distraction?
A complete distraction?
Yes. I'm just saying, ask yourself the question. what if Epstein
Got muted
I did that.
with your mind.
I had heard enough.
There you are.
I had a phone call come in. I apologize. Just as you look, his death wasn't legit. The files have been dangled in front of us for how many years now? Sure, Ghislaine's in jail, but there was comms in that whole thing. The 17, whatever it was. Remember the X17 or whatever, the one file within her. I'm going off the top of my head in the car right now, but you know what I'm saying.
They redacted client number 17 or client number 107 or something like that. They gave you a big com the first time that, yeah.
Oh no, I'll send it to you, Dave. There's something even deeper. I can't do it while I'm here. I could pull it up if I was in front of my computer, but my son's getting in the car. I'm just starting to think, what if it was to let you know that things like that happen, but it was all a distraction just to keep us from what's really going on? Because there's real investigations coming out at this point, like things where people are really being prosecuted. You go and look at the sealed indictments. There's how many?
Yeah, but well, Joe, I don't think one keeps us from the other. It's not exclusionary. It's not like Anon stopped digging and other things just because Epstein was interesting.
We're not talking about Anon's beer. We're talking about the mass majority of society. No one knows anything else but Epstein.
Yep. Well, I'll give you this much. I kind of tend to subscribe to the JFNon and SmartPaul theory on it, like where, and it's important to we have this tendency in the movement that we've gotten these names that are supposedly on this list, and now by default that means every last person on that list is a pedophile.
But half the list is being used as actors in the show, so they're either captured, very possible, and being used because everyone will do what they're told, like the drops told us, or it's a distraction.
Right.
And so, guys, whatever happened to Nexium? That disappeared.
Good point.
Joe, to your point, though, about if Epstein's not dead, right? The flip side of this is everyone's yelling at Pam Bondi and Cash and everybody else, give me the list, give me the list. And they're like, we don't have it. We don't have it. And then all of a sudden they're like, on a silver platter, here's Jeffrey Epstein. He's going to testify and tell you himself. That would sure get them out of hot water from all the accusations, wouldn't it?
I think that's probably the most realistic. I was just asking the question. I actually subscribe to that idea. I think that's probably the most realistic. I don't think the dude's dead. I think that the information being used from that island and from him, I think he was a honeypot. But I'm just asking the question because they just, like, how many times can you kick the can without at least, playing with the idea?
And I'm just checking right here. As of right now, the number went up again, 562,000 sealed indictments with 78,000 unsealed. So
how many of those are taken out on Rambo?
Mine are all unsealed. They're completely unsealed. I have paid my debts to society. We are good. I promise.
Hey, Rambo, the only thing unsealed about you is your zipper in Vegas. How many people are looking at your crotch? That was what blew me away.
Hey, I thought, hey, what happens in Vegas? Hey, stays in Vegas. What the hell?
Yeah.
All right. Let me blast through the rest of these so we can get into the calls. All good. Also flying under the radar, Department of Education lays off nearly 50% of its workforce. That should not be ignored. We also got this other little headline that they caught the USAID staff being ordered to shred and burn all documents. So the show continues. And then this one, we've been tracking this. Lutnick came out, did a major interview with ABC, and it made national headlines. Now Trump's latest tax proposal: no income taxes for those earning less than $150,000. And now, before everybody flips out and says, well, what if I have a business and I make more? Guys, keep in mind the optics of this. If he says no taxes at all, then they're going to say you're doing it to favor your billionaire friends.
They always do.
If he says I'm doing it for under 150, it takes away that weapon that they have to say that you're because remember, they've already been saying the first time he did tax cuts that that's the Democrat talking point. Trump makes tax cuts to favor all his rich friends. Well, guess what? By saying this, they can't. So ultimately, I still believe you had Lutnick 2 weeks ago. I played you guys the video. Lutnick said, quote unquote, Trump's goal is to abolish the IRS. So I believe we're moving in that direction, but just don't get too hung up on day by day headlines, because I think there's an optic to this, and I think that's why. Anything you guys want to add to that?
I just wanted to ask, pause SPG. I turned my microphone volume down. Is this better?
What's that?
Well, I was talking to somebody in the chat who said my microphone was too hot, and so was Joe's. So I turned mine down. I was asking if this sounded better.
Yeah. Yep, you sound good. So
they said yes. Okay.
Okay. Good.
Keep your eye on all this in the context of the trade, the tariff war that's happening right now. Which, by the way, I find it interesting that as the media is trying to tell everybody that the tariff war is raising prices, that, oh, how convenient, egg prices just went down, fuel is coming down. So I think this has all been coordinated that way for that purpose. But with the IRS, remember, we showed you guys, this is the headline I was showing you a couple weeks ago, Trump's goal to abolish the IRS. And remember, we showed you last week that they shut down 120 offices, and I don't have the slide on here, but they are laying off half the staff. And also keep in mind, at the same time, we have gold yesterday reaching a new all-time high at $3,000 an ounce. Silver getting back up near an all-time high, and you have the Dow took a big tumble this week. So quiet, relatively quiet week in the information war space, but still a lot happening.
It raises the biggest question. Who in their right mind would possibly file their taxes this year? He just said they're closing half their offices. They're going to suspend it for 90 days. That's tax season. Why would I turn in my taxes if the thing's going to be suspended and half the doors are shut?
Well, I had Mike King on Wednesday night, and he said he was talking to his accountant, and his accountant said he's two things. He said, number one, he's got a lot of clients that are asking him if they have to file or not. That's interesting.
Wow.
And he also said he as an accountant, remember, as a CPA, they have like a dedicated line that they can call into the IRS if they have questions about certain files. He says he can't get a hold of anybody.
Wow. And I've been hearing that for a couple of years, Dave.
Again, we're not telling anybody what to do or not to do. We're just having a chat here. That's all.
They're just data points. These are just data points.
Right. And I'll tell you, when you were saying anybody, below 150, that's all the Democrats were talking about. I heard it over and over and over in these hearings. He's just trying to, make his millionaire friends richer.
Right.
That's all you heard from those guys. So I hope this shuts them off, shuts them down.
It's brilliant, and that there is a concrete talking point that everybody saw, that there was not, like, none of the media skipped that. They all ran it. So if you're around this weekend and you get somebody, one of your normie friends, don't get into big arguments. But if they want to say exactly what Patty just said, just pull up that article and be like, what are you talking about? He's just going to cut the taxes for under 150. So I think that's exactly why that happened.
Good.
But all right, let's jump into the calls. We got a bunch of people online. Again, guys, openlines.live. That is the link if you guys want to call in. And I am going to start with somebody who's trying to get in early, and I think she's got a good story to tell us. Nancy Kerner. Nancy, welcome aboard. Nancy?
She was muted when she popped up there.
I could barely hear her with the roar of the ocean behind her.
I don't have any sound, Nancy. You're not muted, but I don't have any sound. You're not muted.
Next online, Marceau.
I think
My
it's
young
something
co-host don't know who that is.
I think it's something on your end because I have you here, but I can't hear you. Let me. I'm going to come back to you. If you could maybe try playing around with your mic. Let me come back to you. Let me go over to Patriot Rick 71. Patriot Rick, how are you?
Good evening. How you guys all doing tonight?
Doing well, sir. How are you?
Good. Glad to see y'all. Yeah, I unplugged for like 10 days, but the last thing I remember watching was Trump's inaugural or Congress speech to Congress. And when they showed the generals, all the generals, instantly I thought, wow, is that the Q team? Is he displaying the Q team right in front of us? It's just kind of weird. Not just a thought, theory, things that run through my crazy brain. What do you all think? Do you know what I'm talking about when they showed the generals?
I
And how
do.
stone-faced they were?
I didn't have a chance to really go through and see who they were. I don't know if any of you guys did.
I didn't either. I didn't remember ever seeing any of them. That's kind of why I was like, wow.
I would find it hard to believe that a Q team would be static. People would have to come and go fluidly, as this thing has probably been going for decades.
Understandable.
I would add. I'm sorry, Dave. I realize I probably have a lag because I'm using my phone, but I would add that like the jobs told us less than 10, 3 of which are non-military, a long time ago, and I would speculate that more people are at least further read in than they used to be. We have Elon Musk out here dropping Q drops. The DOJ speech today was kind of mind-blowing. I kind of had that same thought this dude's talking about, and I apologize, I'm driving. I kind of had that same thought when he did the calm before the storm speech. Like, how many Q team members am I looking at right now? So I get the thought process, and I think it's only logical to think that more people know more things than the period of time when that drop was put out. So I don't know. I think we're on the tail end of this thing. So again, I think it's a logical thought process, but who knows?
Just the way Trump looked at him, and the way the camera like panned on to him and was focused on him, and how stone faced they all were, and he even did a point to him, like pointed at him, and then it was just really weird. I just found it like, very intriguing. Very intriguing.
Well, what I always find interesting when I look at a room like that is kind of along the lines of what Rambo is saying, is like, how many of those people know, and
right.
Yeah, maybe they don't know all the way up to the top, but it's like anything else. I mean, I don't know. I find it hard to believe that even somebody like Jesse Waters can barely keep a grin off his face and is smiling the whole time when he's delivering the news and is dropping nuggets all the time, doesn't have some idea of what's going on.
Dana Pirno even did it the other day on the 5. She dropped, I can't exactly remember what it was, but her and Greg kind of went back and forth with a couple things, and it was just like, oh my God, stop. I mean, it's everywhere anymore.
Yeah, I think that's part of the facade that we're all living through, right? Is if you think about it, like, you turn on Fox News, you look at some of these congressmen, like, they know. You look at Greg Gutfeld, of course he knows. You look at Jesse Waters, he knows. The press secretary, she knows. It's such a weird. I don't even know how to put it into words, because if you're looking at it through our lens and you realize what they're pulling off. I mean, look, I'm going to go with Joe Rogan. I'm not saying Joe Rogan is like read into the top, but Joe Rogan is a really intelligent guy. Like, you think he doesn't have some idea as to what's going on? He has to. Rambo, it looks like you got something you want to add, or you're just pointing.
I was just pointing at you because I think you're right. Like I took Ian Carroll like he was being honest, and I took Joe Rogan like he was not. In that interview, if anybody saw it, I think you're 100% right with Joe. He's got too many friends in Dana White and and others to not. The sway doesn't seem natural. And then to have guys like Ian Carroll on like that, I don't know.
Let me add a little. I'm going to throw a little chili powder in the spice here, since we're all having a good day. Sometimes we get little winks from places that, when you know how to interpret them, they're a lot of fun. And who was it? Who interviewed General Quast? I did, and I know that. Was it Rambo? Was it you? Yep. And then so did our friends over at Eye of the Storm. And in all three instances, he was probably asked very direct questions about the Great Awakening. And as I recall, didn't Joe, Stormy Joe, flat out do a Q drop in front of the general about Space Force?
Yes, he did.
And did the general deny anything about that?
No.
Okay, so at a social event a few days ago, my wife is wearing a top similar to this, except she's wearing a necklace with a big Q on it. General Cross walks by, and out of blue, he just looks over and goes, "Love your necklace," and he just keeps walking.
I can add to that. I can add to that, Pierre. I directly referenced Q to General Quast multiple times, and he didn't blow me off, not once. And Boone Cutler is even a greater example. Boone, we straight up talked about Q, and he said it was the greatest operation that's ever taken place. So there's definitely people that are aware. I don't think Boone or General Quast handled themselves that way in those situations for no reason. So I couldn't agree more.
Joe, I would be called Boone Q.
Yeah, that was great.
And there was absolutely like nothing extremely awkward.
Oh, by the way, the follow-up question that was missed was, wait a minute, why did you have a staff and why did you have social media people on your staff back in 2013? Huh? What were you doing? Oh yeah, remember the one guy was dropping?
That was a great interview, Joe.
That was his cover story? Oh, okay.
Yep.
Joe, that was a great interview with Boone. That was the best interview with Boone. Great job, Joe.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. We definitely do have to acknowledge, though, that he never really answered the question. He spun me.
He flipped you hard on that one.
Yeah.
But then you notice, Joe, that he made like within the last week that post that was like identical to Q like language. He just throwing that out there for fun, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right, Rick, thank you very much for the call, my friend.
Thank you, gentlemen. You guys have a great night. You too, Patty. Yep.
Thank you. You too.
Take care, Rick.
Thanks.
All right. And
hey, Dave, I'm sorry to come in and then go, but I'm now done with Ross and I have to go into a child's concert, music concert or whatever. So I just wanted to stop in, tell everybody I love them, say hi. I'm sorry if I derailed it all being on the phone, but I just want to say hi to everybody.
Oh man, we were happy to have you here. You're welcome anytime.
Sorry, I missed you this morning.
Man,
Yeah,
my night got a whole lot better by comparison.
Later, brother.
All right, see you guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right.
That's treason. That's treason.